Okay, today's project is a 2005 Chevy Monte Carlo with a no start problem. Okay, when you turn the key, all you get is one click. This indicates a bad starter or a low battery. We went ahead and we charged the battery up completely. Okay, we turn the key and we get one click. This indicates, again, low battery or a dead starter. I've already charged the battery up. Let me go ahead and show you how to diagnose a starter problem. Okay, so here is the top of your starter right here. Try to get some wires out of the way. This post right here with the big wire going to it, that is your positive wire straight from your battery. Okay, you want to go ahead and touch that and see if your test light goes and lights up, which mine does. So, I don't know if you can see that or not. It does light up. This here is your exciter wire. When you turn the key on the little post here, you should have power only when you turn the key. So because I'm doing this myself, I'm going to hook up a wire to it, bring my test light up top so we can see that it is making power when I hit the key. Okay, so I have my test light on top of the motor. The test light is attached to the battery for a negative, and the other part is attached to my jumper wire leading down to the exciter wire. When I turn the key, my test light will light up, and it is lighting up every time I turn the key. Okay, the exciter wire, when engaged, should have power and tell the solenoid to kick the starter over. Okay, the exciter wire is lighting up and it is not engaging, so this tells me that the starter is junk. Okay, we're going to go ahead and replace the starter and start the vehicle. Okay, so the tools we're going to need today are a test light, if you're doing this on your own, a jumper wire, a 5/16 wrench, a ratchet, an extension, a 10mm socket, an 8mm socket, a 14mm socket, a 15mm socket, and if you have one of these, a Milwaukee impact gun. Makes life a hell of a lot easier. A cordless ratchet always comes in handy if you have one. A slightly smaller extension. Now that we have all of our tools lined up, let's go over to the car and replace the starter. Okay, this is where your 5/16 wrench comes in handy. Anytime you're working on anything electrical, including your starter and your alternator, always disconnect your negative battery terminal. Now that they're hanging that off to the side there so it doesn't touch. Okay, now you can go ahead and replace the starter and not have to worry about your positive wire touching anything and shorting out anything. Okay, so here's the underneath of the car. Here's your starter. Your starter, you're going to find a plastic shield right here with a a bolt right on the front of it. That is a 10mm. You're going to want to stick your wrench or your ratchet in front of your subframe here. Get on the back side. As soon as you take that out, this cover should just come right off. Now you're going to have two bolts, one here and one up there. Go ahead and take those out. Okay, we are under the car. You want to go ahead and take your 15mm. And we'll get this bolt out of here. Okay, that bolt seems to be a little stuck in there, but get the second bolt. If the bolts get stuck, don't worry, they will come out. Okay. Next, try to get the bolts out so you can pull the starter free. Alright, now that we got the starter down, this nut up top is going to be a 14mm. I've already loosened it up. We'll go ahead and take that off. There's going to be a little washer behind it. Okay, there is no washer. I lied. We're going to pull these two wires off. We're going to make sure both wires go back on. Down here, the little one is going to be a 10mm. This one is going to have a small washer on it. It's supposed to anyways. Go ahead and take that off. And we'll pull this wire off. Trying to do this one-handed is harder than you think. All right, now the starter should come out right through the subframe here. Right through here. Now we're going to go ahead and put the new starter in. But first we're going to take this one back to AutoZone because I'm too cheap to pay the cork charge on it. And if I bring it in now, I won't have to. Okay, I went ahead, I put the starter in already. I don't think you guys need help putting a starter back in. You just put it back in the same exact way you took it out. Okay, this is for a 3.4 liter engine, coming multiple GM vehicles, same application pretty much. After I'm done putting it in, I don't know if you can see down here, but I like to put a little bit of grease on my starter wire connections after I'm done, just to keep corrosion away. We're going to go ahead and hook the battery back up before we wonder why it's not starting. Okay, so we'll go ahead, we'll tighten the starter connection back up here, the battery connection, and we'll start the vehicle. Okay, so here we are back in the car. We're going to go ahead and put the ignition key in. We're going to turn the ignition, and it fires right up. Okay, sounds like it's got a pretty bad exhaust leak too, and because it's my mother-in-law's car, we're going to go ahead and fix that too before it comes back later. Okay, so for everybody watching, this is how you replace and diagnose a starter in a 3.4 liter engine. Pretty much the same diagnostic test you would do on any typical starter.